The sky above Vega, 9 turned black long before nightfall. Thick smoke rose from burning cities, spreading like a dirty blanket over the world. The air smelled of fire and metal. Birds had stopped singing. The wind carried only the sound of distant explosions. On the edge of a ruined spaceport, a small ship lay half buried in ash and rubble. It was called the SS Anul, a civilian transport built for comfort, not war. Its wings were broken. One engine dangled by wires. Inside, lights flickered weakly. In the back cabin, a young man named Jiho sat on the floor, holding his little sister Zoe. She was 10 years old, wrapped in a torn blanket. Her eyes were closed. Her breath came slow and shallow. Jiho brushed her hair gently, whispering her name. "Stay with me, Zoe. Just a little longer." She didn't answer. Jiho looked around. The cabin was dark. Only emergency lights glowed red. 3 other people sat in silence. Myung, the pilot, leaned against the wall, her face pale from a head wound. 2 older women, survivors from the city of Jean, held each other and cried softly. Outside, the ground shook again. Another explosion. Closer this time. "We can't stay here," Myung said, her voice weak but firm. "They're still coming." Jiho nodded. He knew she was right. The alien ships had arrived without warning. No messages. No demands. Just fire from the sky. They came in dark, jagged shapes, like broken teeth floating in space. Their weapons turned buildings to dust in seconds. Vega, 9 had no real army. Just a few defense drones and a single orbital station, deadless. It was gone now, blown apart in the first 10 minutes. Jiho remembered watching it fall. He and Zoe had been on the roof of their apartment, looking up at the stars. Then the lights changed. Red flares. Alarms. The sky lit up as Deadless exploded in silence. No sound in space. Just a bright flash that painted the clouds orange. Then the bombs came. Now, the Hanul was their only hope. It had taken off during the chaos, one of the last ships to escape the spaceport. But it was damaged. The jump drive was broken. They couldn't go to warp. They could only drift. Myung crawled to the cockpit. Blood ran down her temple. She pulled herself into the pilot's seat and checked the systems. "Oxygen at 15%, she muttered. "Fuel almost gone. Life support failing." She looked at the comms panel. Nothing. No signals. No replies. Earth was too far. The other colonies were silent. They were alone. She turned to Jiho. "We need to send a distress call. Even if no one hears it, maybe someone will." Jiho helped her open the emergency transmitter. It was old, meant for small storms or engine trouble, not war. But it was all they had. Myung typed the message. "This is SS Hanul. We are survivors from Vega 9. We are alive. We need help. Any species, any ship, please respond. We are drifting near the outer ring. We have wounded. We have children." She added the ship's ID and sent it into space. Then she sat back and closed her eyes. "It's done. Now we wait." They waited. Hours passed. The air grew thinner. The lights dimmed. One of the older women stopped breathing. No one had the strength to move her. Zoe coughed. Her face was pale. Jiho held her tighter. "Remember the song, Zoe? The one Mom used to sing?" He began to hum. A soft tune. A lullaby from Earth. Zoe opened her eyes slightly and smiled. "Sing it," she whispered. So Jiho sang. "Stars above, watch us through the night. Keep us safe till morning light." Her breathing slowed. Her hand went limp. Jiho kept singing. When the song ended, Zoe was gone. He didn't cry. Not yet. He wrapped her in the blanket and held her close. Outside, the sky was silent. No more explosions. No more ships. Just smoke and ash. Then light. A soft, blue glow appeared above the horizon. It grew slowly like a rising moon. But it wasn't a moon. It was a ship. Big. Smooth. Shaped like a leaf floating on water. It made no sound. It didn't attack. It just hovered, lowering gently through the smoke. Myung saw it first. She gasped, "Is it them?" Jiho looked. His heart beat fast. No, It's not like the others. It's different. The ship landed 100 meters away. A door opened. A ramp came down. No soldiers came out. No weapons. Instead, 3 figures stepped forward. They were tall but not threatening. Their skin glowed faintly, like moonlight on water. They wore simple robes. Their eyes were large and kind. They moved slowly, hands open at their sides. One of them spoke, not in words, but in music. A soft tone filled the air. Then images formed in Jiho's mind, like dreams. He saw a starry sky, a planet at peace, a hand reaching out. Help! He understood. They want to help, he said. Myung nodded. I feel it too. The beings came closer. They didn't rush. They waited. One knelt and placed a hand on the ground, as if asking permission. Jiho stood. He carried Zoe in his arms. He walked to the door of the Hanul and stepped out. The lead being looked at him, at Zoe. Their eyes showed sadness. Then they held out their hands. Jiho didn't hesitate. He walked toward them. The being gently touched Zoe's forehead. A soft light glowed. Then they turned and led him to their ship. Myung and the others followed, weak but alive. Inside the alien vessel, the air was clean. The walls pulsed with soft light. There were no seats, no controls, just open space filled with calm. Jiho laid Zoe down on a flat surface. The being placed both hands over her. A warm light spread through her body. Jiho watched, hoping, but the being shook their heads slowly. She was gone. Jiho finally cried. The being placed a hand on his shoulder. Again, music filled his mind. This time it was a feeling deep and strong. You are not alone. Later, in a quiet room, Jiho sat with a cup of warm liquid the aliens gave him. It tasted like honey and rain. Myung sat beside him, her head bandaged. The lead alien, who they later learned was called Nara, stood before them. Through images and soft sounds, they spoke. They were the Kethri, a peaceful species, travelers of the stars. They did not fight. They watched. They helped when they could. They had been near Vega, 9 when the attack began. They saw the dark ships come. They saw the fire. They saw the Hanul drift into space. They followed. We rescue life, Nara said, their voice like wind through trees. Not for power, not for gain, because life is rare and precious. Jiho looked at them. Why us? You don't even know us. Nara showed him a vision. A child laughing on a beach. An old man painting a picture. A couple holding hands under a tree. You create, Nara said. You feel. You love, even when you suffer. We have seen many species. None like you. Jiho thought of Zoe, of the song. He looked out a window. The alien ship was rising. Vega, 9 shrank behind them, broken, burning, but still turning. Where are we going? Myung asked. Nara pointed to a distant star. Home. Earth. We will take you back. Jiho felt a spark in his chest. But why? He asked. You saved us. That's enough. Nara turned to him. Their eyes glowed with quiet fire. Because they hurt one of you, and we saw what you are. If they hurt one, they will hurt more. And if you are worth saving, then all of you are. The ship jumped to warp. Stars stretched into lines. The void opened, and far away, on a blue planet called Earth, a signal was about to be sent. But the Kethri already knew. They were coming, not for war, but for rescue. The Kethri ship moved through space like a leaf on a quiet river. No loud engines, no shaking metal, just a soft hum like wind in trees. Its glowing blue hull reflected the distant stars. Inside, the air was warm and smelled like rain on grass. Jiho sat by a wide window, watching the dark space flow past. He hadn't slept much since Zoe died. He kept her small scarf in his pocket. Sometimes he held it tight, just to feel close to her. Myung was healing. The Kethri had touched her wound with glowing hands, and now the cut on her head was gone. She walked without pain, but her eyes were still heavy with loss. They both stayed quiet most of the time. The Kethri did not force talk. They moved slowly, spoke in soft tones, or not at all. They used music and images to share thoughts. It felt strange at first, but Jiho began to understand. A single note could mean sadness. A rising tone meant hope. One day, Nara came to them. Their robes shimmered in the soft light. They stood calmly and sent a thought into the air. We have news. A screen formed from light. It showed a message in human text, translated by the Kethri systems. Emergency broadcast, Earth command. To all free species. The Zyron have returned. They destroyed Mars. They took Luna. Earth is under attack. We cannot hold much longer. If anyone can hear this, please help. Geo read it once. Then again, his hands shook. The Zyron, he whispered. They're attacking Earth? Nara nodded slowly. The same ones who burned your world. They move from star to star. They do not speak. They only destroy. Myung stood up. Then we have to go back. Now! Nara did not answer at first. Instead, they showed a vision. A great council of Kethri, sitting in a ring on a quiet planet. Stars above. Trees glowing in the dark. They were talking, not with words, but with waves of light. Each one shared a feeling, a thought, a memory. Then one image stood out. A human child, no older than 5, standing in the ruins of a home, holding a broken toy, crying. The council fell silent. Then, one by one, they raised their hands. Yes, Nara turned to Jiho and Myung. We are not warriors. We do not fight, but we protect life. And you are life worth protecting. Jiho felt something rise in his chest. Not fear, not sadness, something stronger. We want to go with you, he said. Nara smiled with their eyes. You will, but not as soldiers, as guides, as proof of what we fight for. The ship changed course. Deep in space, far from Earth, a great fleet began to gather. Thousands of Kethri vessels, shaped like wings and petals, emerged from hidden lanes between stars. Some came from nebulae. Others rose from quiet moons. They did not rush. They did not shout. They simply came. Each ship carried healers, thinkers, protectors, and now they carried a mission. Jiho walked through the main chamber of the flagship. It was open and wide, like a forest clearing. Kethri moved quietly, tending to glowing plants and soft machines. Myung stood near a data stream, watching old Earth videos of Kethri had collected. She pointed to one. Look. It was a recording from Seoul before the war. Children playing in a park. A man selling hot dumplings. An old woman feeding pigeons. This is what they're fighting for, she said. Not just cities, not just land. This, small things, quiet moments. Jiho nodded. Zoe loved the part back home. She'd run in circles until she fell down laughing. Myung placed a hand on his shoulder. We're going to make sure others get to do that again. Days passed. The fleet grew. Ships linked in silent formation. Their weapons were not guns or bombs. They used sound, vibration, resonance. A single pulse could stop a machine. A song could heal a body. Jiho learned what he could. He told the Kethri about Earth, about families, about music, food, love. He showed them pictures of mountains, ocean, snow. They listened. They felt. One night, Nara came to him alone. You carry pain, they said in thought, but you still speak of beauty. Why? Jiho looked at the stars. Because if I only remember the fire, I become fire. But if I remember her laugh, I keep her alive. Nara bowed their head. Then they placed a hand on his chest. A warm light spread through him. Not a cure, not a fix, but a feeling. Peace. Not the end of grief, but the strength to carry it. When he looked up, tears were on his face. But he was smiling. The fleet reached the edge of Earth's system. Sensors lit up. On the screen, Earth hung in space, blue, green, alive. But around it, darkness. The Zyron fleet. Hundreds of jagged black ships, floating like shadows. They surrounded the planet. One was attacking the last defense station near Jupiter. It exploded in silence. Myung clenched her fists. They're still here. Jiho watched, heart pounding. Then the Kethari fleet moved. No warnings, no demands, no speeches. They simply appeared. A wave of light spread from the front line. Silent, fast. The first Zyron ship touched the edge of the wave. It didn't explode. It shattered. Like glass hit by the right note. The entire ship split apart. Then the next, and the next. The resonance wave moved through the fleet, breaking machines, silencing weapons. Within seconds, half the Zyron armada was gone. The rest turned to flee. Too late. Kethari's ships moved like water. They didn't chase. They flowed. Their weapons sang, high, clear tones that cut through metal and hull alike. Zyron fighters dropped like stones. One massive command ship tried to jump to warp. A single Kethari vessel fired a pulse. The warp core screamed, then collapsed in on itself. The ship folded and vanished. In less than 10 minutes, it was over. No cheers. No shouts. The Kethari simply held formation. On Earth. In a bunker deep under the Himalayas, Admiral T6 stared at the radar. All enemy contacts gone. A young officer whispered. T6 didn't move. What happened? Then a signal. A soft tone. Then words, clear and calm. We are the Kethari. We found one of yours. Now we've come to save the rest. T6 sat back. His hands trembled. He looked at a photo on his desk. His wife, his daughter, both lost in the first strike. He covered his face and wept. In the quiet of the Kethari ship, Geo watched Earth on the screen. Alive. Still standing. Myung stood beside him. We made it. He nodded. But it's not over. Nara joined them. The war is not our way. But rescue is. There are others. Millions. Held in Zyron worlds. Still alive. Jiho turned. Then we go to them. You do not have to come, Nara said. This is not your fight now. Jiho looked at Soi's scarf in his hand. It will always be my fight. Myung smiled. Then let's go bring them home. The fleet turned. Not toward war, but toward hope. The Kethari fleet moved through space like a quiet storm. Not fast, not loud, but sure. Thousands of their smooth, glowing ships floated in perfect lines. No engines roared. No metal creaked. Just silence and light. Inside the flagship, Jiho stood by the window. Earth was far behind now. The stars ahead were darker, colder. They were heading deep into Zyron space, the place where no human had ever returned from. Myung sat nearby, checking a small screen. It showed maps, signals, weak distress calls picked up from lost colonies. One blinked red, a moon orbiting a dead planet. The Kethari called it Vor 7. Human records called it New Jeju. That's where they kept people, Myung said. We have to go there first. Jiho nodded. His hands were calm, but his heart beat fast. He thought of Soi every day. He still carried her scarf. He still heard her voice. But now, that pain had turned into something else. Not hate, not anger. A need to save others. Nara entered the room. Their robe glowed soft blue. They did not speak with words. Instead, a tone filled the air and images formed. A huge Zyron station, built into the side of a moon. Dark, cold, full of cages. Humans inside, pale and weak, hooked to machines. Tubes took their blood, their heat, their life. The Zyron used them like batteries. Geo's fists clenched. We will not fight. Nara's thought came. We will rescue. Myung looked up. But how? That place is a fortress. Even if we get in, how we get everyone out? Nara showed another image. A plan, not with weapons, not with force, with sound. The Kethari would send a pulse, not to destroy, but to open. A resonance wave that would break locks, shut down machines, and stop guards without killing them. Then they would go in. Quiet, fast, gentle. Jiho understood. Like healing, but for the whole station. Nara bowed their head. Yes. The fleet slowed as they reached the edge of the system. Stars were fewer here. The sky felt heavy. Sensors picked up movement. Zyron patrol ships, small, fast, shaped like blades. flew in circles around Vor 7. They scanned the dark, looking for enemies. The Kethri did not hide. They simply became still. Their ships turned off all signals. Their lights dimmed. They floated like rocks, like dust, like nothing at all. The patrols passed by, blind. Then the moment came. The flagship sent a single tone into space. Low at first, then rising. It spread like ripples in water. When it hit the station, the effect was instant. Every door on the prison level snapped open. Lights flickered. Machines shut down. The tubes pulling energy from humans fell silent. The Zyron guards, tall, chitinous beings with black eyes, staggered, hands to their heads. The sound hurt their ears. They fell to their knees. It did not kill them, but it stopped them. Now came the hard part. Geo, Myung, and a team of Kethri moved in small rescue pods. They landed softly on the surface of the moon. The air outside was thin, cold. They wore light suits that warmed them. Inside the station, the halls were dark. The only light came from broken screens and emergency strips on the floor. They found the first room. Hundreds of humans, sitting in rows, still hooked to dead machines. Many were asleep. Some were awake, eyes wide with fear. Jiho stepped forward. "Hello," he said, voice soft. "We're here to help. You're safe now." No one moved. Then an old man in the front row began to cry. He reached out a shaking hand. Jiho took it. One by one, the others woke. Some could not stand. Some had not walked in years. The Kethri moved among them, touching their foreheads, sending calm thoughts, healing what they could. Myung found a young girl, maybe 8, curled in the corner. She held a torn doll. "It's okay," Myung whispered. "I've got you." She picked her up and carried her out. Outside, the rescue ships waited. They loaded the freed humans gently. Medics worked fast. Warm blankets, water, food. Jiho stayed until the last one was out. As they left, he looked back at the dark station. "We're just getting started," he said. The fleet moved on. Next target, Orbis 9, another prison world, built inside a hollowed-out planet. It held over 500,000 people. The Zyron had turned it into a machine of pain. Heat from human bodies powered their ships. Blood was filtered for chemicals. Minds were scanned for data. The Kethri fleet arrived at night. This time, they did not sneak. They appeared. All at once, 1,000 ships lit up the sky like stars waking up. The Zyron alarm screamed. Fighters launched. Missiles fired. The Kethri did not fire back. Instead, they sang. A deep, pure tone filled space. It passed through the planet's shell, through walls, through machines. Every system failed. Lights died. Doors opened. Engines stopped. The Zyron guard dropped. Then the rescue began. Jiho and Myung led a team inside. They moved fast. Room after room. They cut chains. Carried the weak. Gave water. A woman grabbed Jiho's arm. "Are you real?" "Yes," he said. "And you're free." She sobbed into his shoulder. Outside, the Kethri ships formed a ring around the planet. They sent a signal into deep space. Not just to Earth. To everyone. We are rescuing the lost. If you can hear this, know this. You are not forgotten. Days passed. World after world. Delta 3. Nova Haven. Eden's Reach. Each time, the same. The Kethri arrived. The Zyron fell. The people were saved. And each time, more humans joined the mission. Doctors, pilots, engineers. One man named Taesik had been held on Orbis 9 for 3 years. He was weak, but his mind was sharp. When he learned who had saved him, he laughed through tears. The Kethri? And a kid from Vega 9? I guess Earth's luck finally changed. He helped plan the next move. The final target. Zyron Prime. The heart of the Empire. A planet covered in black towers and moving hives. Billions of Zyron lived there. Millions of humans were still trapped below. It was the most dangerous place in the galaxy, but it was also the most important. "We go," Jiho said, "for Zoe, for all of them." Myung nodded. "We don't fight to kill. We fight to free." Nara stood with them. We will be with you. But this is your voice now. Your song. The fleet gathered one last time. Human ships rough strong, built for war, flew beside the smooth Kethri vessels. Together, they jumped to warp. Stars stretched. The void opened. And ahead, in the dark, a black planet turned, waiting. But this time, the rescuers were coming, and they would not leave anyone behind. The fleet came out of warp in silence. No flash, no boom, just a soft ripple in space, like a stone dropped in still water. Ahead of them, the planet hung like a wound in the sky. Xiron Prime. It was not a world of trees or oceans. It was a hive, a mountain of black towers, moving like insects, growing and shifting. Smoke rose from deep pits. Strange lights pulsed under the surface. The air was thick with poison. No birds, no wind, just machines in pain. Millions of humans were trapped below. Jiho stood on the bridge of the Kethri flagship, his hands gripping the edge of a low rail. He didn't speak. He didn't move. He just stared. This was it, the end of the road. Myung stepped beside him. Her suit was ready. Her helmet rested under her arm. She looked tired, but her eyes were sharp. We can't save them all, she said. Not if we rush. We can try, Jiho said. That's all we can do. Nara floated into the room. Their light was dim, calm. They sent a thought into the air. We will not attack. We will open the doors, break the chains. Then we leave with as many as we can. Jiho nodded. And if they fight back? They will. But we do not kill. We stop. We protect. The rest is up to you. A signal came in. Tae-sik, now back on his feet, and wearing a simple gray uniform, stood on the bridge of the human command ship Deadless 2. His voice was strong. All ships report ready. We're with you, Jiho. Just say when. Jiho took a deep breath. Now. The plan began. The Kethri ships moved first. They formed a wide circle around the planet, high in the sky. No weapons fired. No engines roared. They simply sang. A tone rose from their fleet, low, deep, steady. It passed through the clouds, through the crust, into the heart of the hive. Inside the planet, walls cracked. Locks burst open. Machines died. The Xiron guards screamed, hands over their heads. The sound was not loud to human ears. But to Xiron biology, it was like fire in the brain. Doors flew open. Cages fell apart. And in the dark, deep below, humans stirred. Some had not seen light in years. Some had forgotten their names. But now they heard something new. Silence. And then footsteps. Jiho led the first team down in a rescue pod. Myung was with him. Tae-sik stayed in orbit, guiding the fleet. The pod landed on a broken platform near a giant shaft that led underground. They stepped out. The air was thick and hot. The ground shook. Strange clicks and hums echoed from below. They moved fast. Using maps from Kethri scans, they found the first holding zone. A huge room, like a warehouse, filled with rows of chairs. Humans sat in them, weak, pale, hooked to tubes. Jiho ran to the first one. A young man, maybe 20, eyes half open. Hey, Jiho said, shaking his shoulder. You're safe. We're getting you out. The man blinked. Real. Yes. Come on. Myung cut the tubes with a small tool. The man fell forward. Jiho caught him. One by one, they freed them. Some could walk. Some had to be carried. The Kethri medics followed, giving shots that helped strength return. They found children. A whole room of them. No older than 10. They huddled together, scared, silent. Myung knelt. I'm here to help. I won't hurt you. One girl looked up. Are you from Earth? They carried the children out. More teams landed. Human soldiers, doctors, pilots. Everyone who could walk joined the rescue. They moved through tunnels, broke open cells, gave water, carried the weak. In one room, they found a woman who had been a teacher. She held a notebook filled with names. I wrote them down, she said, voice weak. Every name, so they wouldn't be forgotten. Jiho took the notebook. You did good. We'll make sure everyone knows. Above, the Zyron fought back. Fighters rose from hidden ports. Missiles fired at the Kethari ships. But the resonance field held. The weapons failed before they could strike. One by one, the Zyron ships dropped, engines dead. But the hive was not done. From the center of the planet, a massive tower lit up. Red light shot into the sky. A pulse followed. Strong, sharp. The Kethari ships shook. Their song wavered. The Zyron had found a way to fight back. Tay-6 saw it from orbit. They're targeting the resonance field. If it breaks, the doors close. And we lose everyone still inside. He turned to his crew. We have to stop that tower. How? A young officer asked. We can't get close. Our weapons won't work. Tay-6 looked at the screen. Then he smiled. We don't need to destroy it. We just need to sing louder. He opened a channel to the Kethari flagship. Nara, can you boost the signal? Just for one pulse. Nara's voice came through, calm. Yes, but it will take all our power. The fleet will be blind for a time. Do it. On the surface. Jiho felt the ground shake again. But this time it was different. A new tone filled the air. Higher. Stronger. Like a wave of light. It hit the red tower. For a second, nothing. Then cracks. The red light flickered. The tower groaned. And then it collapsed, folding on itself like paper. The pulse stopped. The Kethari song returned, stronger than before. Below, more doors opened. Jiho and Mi-young reached the last level. A dark chamber. Cold. Rows of tanks filled with liquid. Inside, humans floated, some awake, some not. Wires ran to their heads. The Zyron had been stealing their dreams. Their memories. Jiho broke the first tank with a tool. Water spilled. The man inside gasped and coughed. He opened his eyes. Sun, he whispered. Is that sun? It's light, Jiho said. And it's real. They freed them all, one by one. When the last one was out, the signal came. Tay-6's voice. We got about 10 minutes. The planet's core is unstable. That last pulse, it's breaking apart. Jiho looked around. How many are left inside? Too many, Mi-young said. We can't get them all in time. Jiho closed his eyes. Then he opened his comm. All ships. This is Jiho. We're not leaving anyone behind. Load every pod. Take as many as you can. And if you see someone still down there, stop and pick them up. No one gets left. The rescue ships flew fast. Up and down. Pod after pod. Some pilots made 3 trips. Some never came back. But still they flew. When the last ship left the surface, the ground cracked. Fire rose. The towers fell. The fleet pulled back. In the quiet of space, they counted the saved. 2,173,412. More than anyone had hoped. Jiho stood at the window, watching Zyron Prime break apart behind them. Mi-young came beside him. We did it. He didn't answer at first. Then he said, we brought them home. And far away, on a blue planet called Earth, a message was sent to every screen, every speaker, every ship. They rescued one human. So we returned to rescue them all. And for the first time, the galaxy listened. The fleet floated in silence near the edge of the solar system. Behind them, Zyron Prime had collapsed into a cloud of dust and fire. Ahead, the pale blue of Earth shone in the dark. Stars blinked around it like quiet watchers. Inside the Kethari flagship, the air was warm. Soft light pulsed through the walls. The ship hummed, not with engines, but with life. It felt like standing in a forest at dawn. Jiho sat by the window. He was tired, not just in his body, but in his soul. He had seen too much, carried too many, lost too many. But he was still here. On his lap was a small notebook, the one the teacher had given him. It held the names of over 10,000 rescued people. He had read every one, said them out loud, so they would know they were remembered. Mi-young walked in. She wore a clean gray suit now, not a pilot's gear. Her hair was tied back. She looked tired too, but her eyes were calm. They're calling us, she said. Earth want to speak. Jiho nodded. Let them. A screen formed in the air. Not big, just enough for one face. Admiral Tasik appeared. He sat in a simple room, a flag behind him. His uniform was neat. His voice was strong, but soft. Jiho, Myung, Nara, all of you, thank you. He paused. Then his voice broke. We thought we were alone. We thought we were lost. But you came, not for land, not for power, but for us. He looked down. When he looked up, his eyes were wet. You didn't just save lives. You gave us hope back. Jiho didn't speak at first. Then he said, we didn't do it alone. No, Tae-sik said, and that's the miracle. You brought others. You made us more than we were. A new signal came in, not from Earth, from space. One by one, strange ships appeared on the sensors. A golden vessel from the Virex of Proxima, a floating city from the water world of Thal 3, a swarm of small drones from the silicon mines of Zeta Ring. They sent no weapons, no threats, just messages. We saw what you did. We heard the call. We are coming to help. Nara stood beside Jiho. Their light glowed soft green. The galaxy is listening, they said in thought. Not to war, to kindness. Myung smiled. Guess we started something. Jiho looked at the stars. So he would have liked this. The fleet began to move. Not to war, not to hide. Home. Earth opened its arms. Cities still bore scars. Craters from bombs. Broken towers. But new buildings rose. Gardens grew in the ruins. Children played in parks again. The first rescue ships landed in Seoul. People came from everywhere. They brought flowers, food, songs. When Jiho stepped out, the crowd fell silent. Then a child ran forward. She couldn't have been more than 6. She held a small paper crane in her hand. For you, she said. Jiho knelt. Thank you. The noise returned. Cheers, claps, music. Myung stood beside him. We're home. He nodded. But it's not over. No, because deep in space, other colonies still waited. Other species still suffered. The galaxy was big, and not all of it was kind. But now, things were different. The Kethri did not stay. After 2 weeks, they prepared to leave. Nara stood with Jiho on a hill outside the city. The wind blew soft. Birds sang. We must go, Nara said. There are others who need us. And you have your own path now. Jiho looked at them. Will I see you again? Not like this. But yes, in time. He reached into his pocket and gave them Soi's scarf. For her, he said. So you don't forget. Nara took it gently. They wrapped it around their wrist like a band. We never forget. The Kethri ships rose into the sky. No sound, no flash, just light, fading into the stars. People watched. Some cried. Some waved. Jiho didn't move. Myung came to him. What now? He turned. Now we build. And they did. A new fleet rose from Earth orbit. Not for war. For rescue. Human ships, strong and tough, flew beside new allies. Virex medics. Thal, 3 divers. Even some former Zyron workers who had turned against the Hive. They called it the Second Dawn Fleet. Its mission was simple. Find the lost. Bring them home. Jiho did not become a general. He did not want power. He became a guide, a voice. He traveled from ship to ship, colony to colony, telling the story. Of Vega 9, of Soi, of the Kethri, of how one small act of kindness had saved a species. Years passed. Children grew. New cities rose. One day, an old man sat on a bench by the sea. Gray hair, quiet eyes. He held a small paper crane. A young girl sat beside him. Grandpa, she said, is it true? Did the stars really come to save us? He smiled. Yes. From far away, they saw one person in need and they came. Why? He looked at the sky. Because kindness is stronger than fear. And when you help one life, you start a wave. She leaned on his shoulder. Do you think they're still out there? He nodded, watching. waiting, ready to come. And high above, in the quiet dark, a soft blue light flickered, just for a second, then gone, but not forgotten.